What is up, YouTube? D-Rec here with Alliance Rift Gaming Network, and I will be your commentator for this week's Card Fight Vanguard feature fight. And in today's match, we have Gold Paladin Gurguit Unite versus Mega Colony Machining. Two semi-strong decks, one that really hasn't gotten that much support lately, being Mega Colony, and Gurguit, which has gotten a little bit more support, just needs a little bit more of a push to really get the Tier 1 position, or even the higher Tier 2 position. At the moment, it's just not very strong. Either decks aren't really strong in the meta currently. So the Gold Paladin player is going to take the first turn of this match. We're just going to see how a superior calling deck like Gurguit stacks up against a deck that really forces him to waste resources like Machinings. So the Machine player is going to attack and get no offensive critical triggers or any kind of triggers in the first check there. But the Gold Paladin player is going to get the defensive stand. He's going to get to go into his grade 2 turn. He's going to ride Bowler and call Henrius to the rear guard. He's going to swing with the Henrius first, because I think he's running more stands, like a 6-6 ratio. He's hoping for the offensive stand to get Henrius, but he's going to get the offensive critical to get healed out by the Machining player. So the damage gap now is 2-1, with the Gold Paladin in the lead. Gold Paladin in the lead, my bad. So the Machine player is going to go into his grade 2 turn. He's going to come back with some sort of aggro here. He's going to get the offensive critical trigger and then make the rear guard column a current 22k attacking column, or 21k attacking column, I should say. That'll get over the current base 19k Vanguard the Gold Paladin player has. He's going to get guarded for 10k, and it will be the Gold Paladin player's turn. Now, Machinings haven't been seen so much in the meta as of recently. It's mainly been a mix of Night Rose, Saint Guard, Gears, obviously, for obvious reasons, and some other decks like Freezer Messiah. But Machinings are still a very tricky deck to work around for some decks, especially being out of the meta for so long. Some people have forgotten how to play against it or work around the whole Vanguard stun mechanic, which can be really hurtful for a lot of players, especially since they don't get to see it that often, and it can be a really detrimental one-of player to be in a tournament organization. So we're going to see the Gold Paladin player finally right up to grade 3. He's going to call 2 Scarface Lion to make that Vanguard column a hefty 26k attacker. The rear guard attack's going to be guarded for 10k guard, and the Gold Paladin player is going to attack Vanguard with 26 with the Drawtsu. And it looks like the Machine player is going to take it with no offensive triggers and no defensive trigger on the Machining player's part. And it'll be his turn now, and he's going to get to go into his grade 3 turn. He's going to ride into Machining Stag Beetle, and using his skill, he's going to call 2 Machining units from Soul at rest and gaining plus 15,000 power. But that's not going to matter too much, because he's going to immediately stride into Machining Destroyer, and he's going to stun his opponent's starter and Vanguard with Destroyer's skill, since he has 4 more Machining rear guards. And he's going to use Little B's skill to stand the 12k attacker on the right, and he's going to swing 25,000 at the opponent's Vanguard to get PG'd. And the Morikawa triple grade 3 check is, oof, it's pretty harsh on the Machine player's part. He's gonna have a lot less to work with in terms of defensive options when it comes to the Gold Paladin player's turn. But if the Gold Paladin player can't ride up again with another Gurguit, he might not be able to do anything, which will be favorable for the Gold Paladin player, or the Machine player. But that does not look like the case. The Gold Paladin player is going to get to ride up to grade 3. He's going to go into Scourge Point as his first stride, and this is very, very bad for the Machining player, because now with Scourge Point being his first stride, he's going to be able to build hefty columns and potentially get off the multi-attacks with Quill and Parry More and all that stuff, calling out different units and rebuilding sizable columns during the battle phase, which, with what we know of the Machining player's hand, is not very good and could be the end of the game right here, but hopefully not. So let's just see how the Gold player really puts the pressure on the Machining player in this turn. So the Gold Paladin player is going to call out a Quill with Gurguit skill, and he's going to call a Jeffrey from hand. And it looks like he's going to use Coel's skill to superior call from top 3. It looks like he's going to call out Knife Throwing Knight Malgant. Now, he's an iffy card. for Gurguit, because some players like to have the sole option for the Gurguit Stride or even Gurgit's Generation Break 2 defensive skill to counter blast 1, soul blast 1, and guard from top 4, I believe. But with Knife Throwing Knight Malignant, he'll be able to countercharge if necessary, since most decks don't run the G perfects. They run normal perfect guards that don't require being called directly from hand to get the perfect guard skill off, which is very optimal for Gurgit's defensive skill, but not too optimal because Gurgit eats through counter blasts like crazy. So in this situation, he's going to use Malignant's skill to countercharge, but he's going to call Parry more and reuse that counter blast to call out another Jeffrey. And I think this is all 4 Jeffrey for the Gold Paladin player. But now the Gold Paladin player has his formation all set up, really hefty columns on a very, very scary field staring down the Machining player. So the Parrymore column is going to attack first, and he's going to get the defensive trigger with Machining Firefly, making the Machining Stag Beetle Vanguard 15k now. Jeffrey's still going to go off, he's going to get the draw 1, and then with a boost from Malignant's, Scourge Point is going to attack. And the Mega Colony player is going to use Greister Fort. Greister Fort is a very interesting card. In this situation, it's probably the best option he has. It will prevent the Gold Paladin player from making his combo attacks by resting his entire back row. So Parrymore won't be able to get the boost, and he won't be able to get the draw off of Jeffrey. So the only attack that he potentially will have is the Pull column, and because it wasn't enough, he's going to drop the PG as a safety measure. And it looks like the Gold Paladin player is going to get exactly what he needs. He's going to get the offensive stand trigger to get Jeffrey back up and making the pull column much scarier. And because of that, he's going to be able to get another column attack potentially with pull skill. He's going to call another unit. He's going to call out a Henrius, and this is perfect because now he's going to get a full column with a boost, and the Machining player still has this attack as well as the Henrius column to take. And if he can't guard it, that might just be the game right here. So he's going to use Henrius' skill right now. He's going to call out another Jerry to countercharge and fill soul. So that column is already pretty huge, and the Mega Colony player is going to take the pull attack with Jeffrey's skill, drawing a single card and adding it to hand. And with the boost from Jerry, Henrius is going to attack for game, putting the Machine player to 6 damage. So it was a very interesting match. The Machine player just could not keep up with the Gold Paladin players aggroing multi-attacks, despite having the stunned Vanguard, and the triple Trigger 3 check was definitely not good for him. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.